الطارش يلم عنا خط بكتابك بترحيبه، لو سرابك ليلك وجنة بالدجا في الليل تسريبه.
واسأل عنا له المنة قل علامات انت تدريبه، مدعيكم غايب عنا والحكم ميوز في الغيبة. ينبغي الإنسان يتأنى ويحكم بأحكام مصيبة، لا تحس بالحيف ذا منا النصف ناخذ ونعطيبه. سوي يميل وبلغه عنا بالسلام وألف ترحيب.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله الذي بيده تتم الصالحات، وأصلي وأسلم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن سار على نهجه إلى يوم الدين. وبعد. All praises belong to the Almighty Allah. May His peace and blessings be upon the Prophet of Islam, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his household, followers, and all those who follow the path of Allah to the day of judgment. We welcome all of you to our 4th episode of the marriage series. This time round, we are looking at the all-important subject of maintenance of marital love. Indeed, and truly speaking, the one thing that has been seen to be associated with human life is ups and downs. Ups and downs. The marriage starts on a very sound footing. The husband is happy, the wife is happy. But 2 years on, 3 years on, down the lane, friction sets in. Habituation sets in. Habituation is a reduction in stimulation. Slump sets in. And habituation, I've just explained, is a reduction in stimulation, meaning as your lives are moving on, wife and husband staying in the same room 24/7, the love will be there, but will be taking a new phase. The relationship will be taking a new phase. Sometimes slump sets in. Inertia sets in. All these are various phases of challenge for the marital relationship. The man becomes lackadaisical. So it is with the wife. And this marriage has to be revived. Somebody will say it has to be lubricated. It has to be given a new life. If you draw a graph of progression on this marital love, you will see that it started on a very strong note of emotional attachment to one another. But with the passage of time, the attachment will be reduced. It's natural. But that's where the challenge is. Because the slump will come in, habituation will come in, friction will come in to play its bad role. Therefore, it is absolutely important for the marriage to be revived from time to time. The question is, how is it to be done? How is the revival to be done? In the coming points, we shall be explaining what a man, the husband and the wife will have to do from time to time, consistently and constantly, to keep their marriage alive Point number one, which is extremely important, and I mentioned it when I spoke about the ideal husband and ideal wife. Sit down, the two of you. Think through the fact that the relationship is an amana. It is a trust thrown into your hands by the Almighty. It is a test that you have to pass. Think about it. It is a responsibility, and you are accountable before the Creator in respect of how you handle that responsibility. 10 years ago, you didn't know the woman. 10 years ago, you didn't know the man. But now, you're husband and wife. You're husband and wife because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has entrusted that marital love into your hands and how you handle it. So as you think through the fact that you are in a relationship that borders on a manner, the second thing you have to be thinking about, which you should be doing, is what I call consistent communication. And in the science of modern communication, they say that communication is life. If Mr. A and Mr. B are not on good terms, and therefore they do not communicate often, if you keep the two of them in an office, the office will gradually die because of the absence of communication. Communication is a live wire of every relationship, and more especially in the area of marital love. So the husband and the wife will have to find time to share thoughts together, to look at their strengths and weaknesses. What are the areas that we are doing well, and what are the areas that we are not doing well? You have to share thoughts about this. Sit down together and then communicate to one another. If you so wish, you can even ask your wife for an assessment of your own character. Madam, what? We've been together for 5 years. Tell me the strengths you have identified in me, and tell me the weaknesses you have identified in me. This is a very simple exercise. That is done by every company. That is done by people of conscience. That is done by almost every single individual who wants to progress in life. So you do what I call mirror assessment. Mirror assessment means that the wife tells the husband the strengths and the weaknesses. And the husband also does the same thing, strengths and weaknesses. It is more like you are employing the management tool of SWOT analysis. Strengths, weaknesses. This exercise will sharpen the nerve of the husband to act properly. And then the woman will also be doing the same. The Akans have a proverb that the Ocha Sano that the one who is developing a footpath to go into a town or a village or a farm doesn't know that the path is actually developing from behind is crooked. And because you are just forward looking, You are just cutting and moving forward. And you are not looking back. It is only the person who is coming from behind you who can tell you that the path is crooked. So when the opportunity is there for the husband and wife to share thoughts about their life, looking at weaknesses and strengths, strengthening of the bond that ties the two of them is reawakened. And the man will then get to know that I thought I was okay, but look at what my wife is telling me. The woman will also say, I thought I was okay, but look at what my husband is telling me. I have some work to do. And that is the effective way of reviving the relationship. Because every relationship which doesn't have in its midst this kind of communication, the negative side in each one of them will come to affect the relationship, because the wife is misbehaving, the man has kept it in his heart. The husband is misbehaving, the wife has kept it in her heart. With the passage of time, this will intensely grow and gradually affect the love one has for one another. But if it is shared, the mind who should have carried all these negative things with worries is extricated. It is freed from any bad thoughts. It is important that as you're communicating, share some of your good old days. Start to think of the very first day that you met and the prayers that you said to put the family life, to put your relationship on a sound footing in the sight of Allah. When you engage one another, telling these old good stories, your hearts will be enlivened. And a new life is introduced into the relationship. Again, we have spoken about gifts. The ideal husband should be an ideal husband by providing gifts to the wife. An ideal wife will be an ideal wife also by providing gifts to the husband. This exchange of gifts should be done consistently, because the Prophet said, Tahadu, tahabu, that give out gifts so that love will prevail amongst you. And again, between husband and wife, give out gifts for love to be enlivened, for the love to between the two of you to be given new life. Try it tomorrow. When you go to town, buy something special for your wife. I'm not talking of an expensive thing. Ordinary yogurt. Yogurt is 1 CD, 20 pesos. Just buy one for your wife. You send it home. She receives it with joy. And she receives it with laughter and joy. And with brightening of the face. The widening of the opening of the eyes, which is an expression of joy in every woman. You are enlivening your relationship. You are lubricating the relationship. You are giving it a new life. The man, don't be too stiff. The two of you should be playing together. Playfulness. Playfulness. The man comes, the wife is sitting there and comes to pat the shoulder. And the wife also rushes to give him a hit. I'm telling you, it is one of the secrets of enlivening of marital love. Because you don't play with your enemy, you play with the one you love. As you sit down to communicate, to look at your weaknesses and strengths, make a vow a new vow. The early one was there. Consistently renew this vow of your support for one another, of caring for one another, of showing real love to one another. And then again, when you err, when you make a mistake, to err is human. And the key word that goes with erring is forgiveness. It's pardon. So if your wife offends you and asks you for forgiveness, open your heart and forgive. If your husband offends you, open your heart and forgive. I've often said that, and I'll say it everywhere, that forgiveness, apart from the fact that it empowers the self, it creates an enabling environment for the man and the man to exhibit love towards one another. Occasionally, from time to time. This is all about how to enliven your love. From time to time, if you have the resources, change your environment. You change the curtains in the hall. You change the bed sheet. So beautification is taking place in the house. And you know, everything that has attraction. I'm not talking of beautiful women in the environment. If you put in new flowers, new joy comes into the heart. If you put up new curtains, new joy comes into the heart. If you've spread a wonderful, beautiful bedsheet, new one, on the bed, joy comes into the heart. And every heart that carries joy has the potency to carry love. We have human behavior coming from the psyche of the individual. The individual has a psyche. And that psyche that I want to talk about here is that the man should have in his mind that the wife Allah has given him is the most beautiful in this world, is the best in character, and that you as a man, you are ready to accept the mistakes and the weaknesses of your wife and then change them, help her to renew her character, to refine her character. And opposite also is there. The wife should help the husband constantly. Because when we speak of gift, we normally speak about it in terms of physical. But you should be a source of gift in offering the right advice to your husband, in offering the right direction to your husband. And the same refers to the man. Give your wife the right direction. Give her the right support. And then prayer. When you pray together, often, it enlivens the relationship. It brings you closer to Allah. The Quran says, وَمِنَ اللَّيْلِ فَتَهَجَّدْ بِهِ نَفْلَةً لَكَ عَسَىٰ أَنْ يَبْعَثَكَ رَبُّكَ مَقَامًا مَحْمُودًا. That in the night, wake up and pray. So if you want to enliven your relationship with your wife, please, the two of you, at that odd time, 2 a.m., get up, perform ablution. Just do only 2 rak'ah. Only 2 rak'ah. And while your forehead is to the ground, in any language you wish that you can speak, pray to the Creator. Because the love that is between the two of you can better be protected and enlivened and lubricated by the Creator alone. So you need His intervention. To pray to Him together. You do that prayer. You see wonders in the relationship. The relationship will be enlivened. The relationship will see a new life. From time to time. It is important to note. The Prophet says, anyone who does not express gratitude to people cannot express gratitude to Allah. If your husband does anything good to you, thank him and surprise him with another thank. She brings the gift right now. You say, thank you. And in the evening, you the woman, when you beautify yourself with your nightie and the painting, and you look so nice, walk to him and say, sweetheart, I thank you so much for what you brought to me. And the woman also, when your husband, the man, when your wife thinks about you and buys you a special gift, instantly when she brings, you can give her a hug and thank her. And in the evening, also, before you go to bed, express that gratitude to her. Because the repetition of a statement shows the state of its stability in the mind, or the state of its getting stuck on the mind. So when you thank a person twice, it is better than thanking the person once. It enlivens love and relationships. You see, king's bed is good. When you want to revive the love, change the environment. If you can, travel together from that environment, away from that room that you have been staying in. It is against this background that some marriage sociologists, counselors, experts are of the view that even though you are staying in the same room, but occasionally you can sleep on separate beds, all in an attempt to enliven the relationship. You just watch. When your husband travels 3-4 days away from your environment and you do not see him, when he comes back, look at the reception, look at the love, look at the comportment. So, sleeping on separate beds, scholars think that that's the same thing. It revives the love in a manner that is unimaginable. Then, of course, as for dining together, it's a must. Don't go your separate ways in terms of eating. Make sure you're always by the table. You put a morsel of food in the mouth of your wife, and she also puts something, a morsel of food in your mouth, all in an attempt to revive the relationship. These things that I'm talking about, if they are done in a marriage, the marriage will hardly die. And then, finally, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala expects his servants to show gratitude to him and also show consistent commitment to him. At the beginning of this relationship, you put your trust in Allah. You prayed together to usher yourselves into this relationship, and a unique relationship for that matter. Then you started your life. Please, from time to time, renew your commitment to Allah through prayer. You can do adhkar in the evening or in the morning, all in the name of reviving this relationship. You wake up at night, as I indicated earlier, and pray together. You are on the path of reviving the relationship, giving it a new life, so that joy will be yours. All these things that you're doing to make sure that the love stays, the love becomes stronger. You're doing them to seek nearness to the Almighty, to seek blessings from the Creator of the heavens and the earth, to seek the unique intervention of Allah in everything that the two of you do. And I can assure you, as the Quran says, وَمَنْ يَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ فَهُوَ حَسْبُهُ. There ain't one who relies on Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is sufficient for him or her. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.